Welcome to Keeping Athena Company. This is a special episode recorded as part of a charity night I organised called Library Laughs. It's a micro episode. It's like 10 minutes long. Put on the kettle, make a cup of tea, have a little snack and enjoy. The guest is wonderful. It's a little episode that I recorded for the crack, really. Maybe I'll do more of these micro episodes if they do really well. We'll see. Let me stop talking. Otherwise, the intro will be longer than the actual episode. I hope you enjoy. Oh, I should tell you, the sound quality is terrible because it was recorded on Zoom. And towards the end, I had to breastfeed my son because he was going nuts. So I go on mute and yeah, you will know when it happens that it's happening. Okay, but still, it's still worth listening to because the guest is wonderful. Enjoy. There was a lady, right, called Ella, and she is my friend, and she's been doing amazing things for ages. And I keep saying to her, come do my podcast, and she keeps fobbing me off. So I thought, you know what, come do my show, and I'll make it into a podcast, and she'll never know. And she agreed. So we're going to do a micro version of Keeping Athena Company. It's going to be a chat with my friend Ella. She's going to be amazing. Please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, my friend Ella Al-Shamahi. Ella, come on. What's going on? It's taken me years to get you here. Years. You're such.
I love that you called me lady. There's this
lady.
You're
a lady. Are you not a lady? If you're not a lady, let me introduce you properly. Okay, you are a National Geographic explorer, right? That means you go to places other play people haven't been.
Well, there have been. It's just not.
Well, there have been.
Sinners or white people.
Okay, so that could be lots of places, really. Bear with me, I've got to stick a dummy in someone's mouth. Ironically, this is what happens in the podcast. It's just me trying to silence my child whilst having a conversation. This is exactly it. You've been on the telly. You've been on the telly. You host TV documentaries, educational stuff about stuff.
It's supposed to be entertaining, but yeah, sure. Let's go with educational.
I learned lots because you made a show about Neanderthals, and I was like, I've got exes like that, and I learned about my exes.
We all.
Ella, I'm going to ask you a question. How are you? Let me start with that question.
I'm good. I'm really good. How are you? I have to say, you did actually quite, I had no idea I was doing the podcast until I saw the press and I was like, oh, we're doing the podcast. You're right. I am smart. You're right to say that. But also, I just thought to myself, what can we do to mix it up a bit? You know, because we've got comedy, we've got improv. Because I'm trying to pitch myself to be the next Graham Norton, innit? So I need. I'm trying to elevate myself since there's not going to be stand up, but there's TV. So I'm like, let me try and Graham Norton the place up. It's your interview skills. Well, there's 18 people on the line right now, so I guess we'll just see how many there is in a short while.
They paid their £4. They're getting their money's worth. My followers are tight. They're wringing every last penny out of their £4. Don't worry about that. But you know, I want to talk to you because you travel for a living, basically, and people talk about stand-ups and about how lockdown is affecting us, but we can still work. I write, for example. There's lots of online gigs, so there's lots of ways we can be creative and still engage in our jobs. But you travel for a living, so what has lockdown been like for you, and how have you found ways to kind of keep active and keep your profession going?
So that was the thing. So originally when it happened, I was like, well, okay, I guess this is my chance to, you know, I haven't been on stage in quite a while, so I was like, well, I can just kind of be getting on stage a lot more. And then obviously proper lockdown happened and everybody, like, not just flying, but like you couldn't even get into clubs and stuff. So I don't know, it's the problem that I've got is that when I talk to people about this, I've got to be really careful because essentially my job is really, like, I'm really lucky that I'm able to travel for a living. And so if I turn around to people, I'm like, oh, woe to me, I could no longer travel the world. Like, amazingly, nobody has sympathy for me. It's really difficult because I feel genuinely sorry for myself. But the thing is, at least it's you. Like, I get like the Daily Mail asking me this as well, and I'm like, I've got to be really careful how I say this because, and like, I remember you know, one of the papers was asking me about it and I was, oh yeah, you know, it's really tough. So then I just kind of ran off to the Swiss Alps between lockdown 1 and lockdown 2 and I just lived there in a chalet. And the guy and so for like, this is terrible, but genuinely for me, that's such a sad story. The girl's so traumatized that she can't like travel, the world, that she's then had to like run off to somewhere in Europe, which, you know, so people that don't know, I usually travel much further afield. And he just literally paused and went, "Oh, how the other half live." And I was like, shit. Like, this does not make me sound good at all.
Okay, yeah. You need to hire me as your PR person, and I'll be sat in that room next to you next. I'll be like, zip it up, man, zip it up. Zip it up. Tell people
he was on the phone.
He was on the phone,
and I reckon he must have just been like, "Oh, we need to have a word with her." She's an idiot. Oh, it's embarrassing. But no, like, it is. I guess, like, but yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, so all adventure telly, like all travel telly, is obviously all stopped, and like mostly stopped, and that's for good reason. Like, we shouldn't like be just cavorting around the planet. All expeditions have stopped for ethical reasons, because we don't want to be going around like giving, like, you know, communities like COVID, because we're wankers who just, you know, whatever, who put our expeditions before people's lives. But it is super weird, because I'm like, crap, I've still got bills to pay, like, but all my traditional ways of getting money have just kind of gone. So it's very strange. Violin music, please, guys.
No, that is violin music, and you put it on a bit of a downer. Really, it's supposed to be like a fun night. Actually, I didn't want you to answer it properly. I wanted you to just, like, you know.
I can show you. I can walk around my room and show you all the places that I've been. That would be. Can you imagine?
Yes.
That's the worst thing ever.
Yes, please. Bear with me. I've got a bit of admin to do here. Right. Yes. Show me something. What's the most interesting thing in your room right now?
You've got a 3-year-old. Why is your kid not babysitting?
Hang on a minute.
This is amazing. Anyone else want to talk to me?
No. It's all right.
Jamal, how's it going? Anyone?
Guys, I swear to God, I spent the whole lockdown breastfeeding whilst performing. No one's even known. I swear down, no one's even known. I should have had it on from the start. But yeah, no, seriously, what's the most interesting thing that's in your room right now? I want to see.
That would involve me having to show you my. So I've got. I went through a phase. Well, okay, I went through a phase of collecting 52 million-year-old fossilized holes. So they're basically just holes, fossilized holes that are.
Sorry, can I just clarify? Buttholes or just holes? Like, are these fossilized butts?
I know, right? No, they are different kinds of naturally occurring holes that are not human.
Because my brain is like, just hears arse. So I just heard arse. That's what I heard. Okay, cool.
No,
tell me more. No, tell me more, because this sounds fascinating.
So they're just different kinds of fossilized holes, and I just went through a period of about a year of just constantly collecting 52 million-year-old fossilized holes, and it was just, you know, I don't know, that was a bit, you know, yeah.
Like, how do you know they're that old? How do you know? How do you know it's not like just like a polo or something?
Oh, because it's that particular part of the world. We know how old the fossils are in that particular layer. It's just, I got really into it. But then it was like, really, because for me, I'm quite nerdy in some ways, and so I would be sitting there like telling these guys I liked all about my fossilized hole. I really just, I knew what to do. Really. And I won't say some of the stuff I used to do, because I think I just levels of wanker, just levels and levels of wanker.
People really must be like, 52 million years fossilized hole. You must have had a bad lockdown, girl. You know what I mean? You must have had it tough. What do people, when you go on dates, what do people think of your job? Are they impressed?
I think they do think it's cool. I do think they think it's cool, but or I think they wouldn't go on a date with me if they didn't. But I don't know, like, now that people recognize me a bit more, it gets a bit awkward, because they assume a lot of things about me. But yeah, again, violin music.
What do they assume? No, what do they assume? I want to know what these trash guys assume about my Ella. Tell me about it, and I have a word. Well,
like, I think some people think I'm like super tough. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think that's quite emasculating for some men. So some men now, they're like, oh, she, like, and they don't. Anyway, yeah, it's weird. So it's weird because I have like that's what they play up on television and stuff. But also, I am a wanker, so this is terrible. Are you recording?
Every minute, every second. No. This is what I want to say. So first of all, I think you are tough, because you travel the world and you travel on things with no toilets on them. Like, you once did poo in the sea. I saw on Instagram. Like,
That's really tough. I wouldn't get on anything with no working toilet. That's quite tough.
I mean, to be clear, there was a toilet, but the toilet was a basket on the side of a ship, kind of attached with ropes and some questions.
So when I said you pooed in the sea, did I not just say you pooed in the sea? Literally, I saw it on Instagram. It's like, do you think you get it? I will hold it in. I'll tell you a true story. We're potty training my toddler right now. She's really clever. She's far too smart. She doesn't like pooing in the potty, so she saves it all day, right? And then she poos in a nappy at night. That's what I would do on that boat. I'm just not pooing on the side of the boat. I'm just saving it up. It's scary. Weren't you scared you were going to fall in?
Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I mean, yeah, I found other, let's not go. I found other ways of dealing with the situation.
Oh, okay.
We'll never discuss, like, ever. It was properly awkward. Like, because also I'm really tall, and that basket was designed for like short Gujarati sailors, and I'm like proper tall, and so you could see me. Do you know, like, and the thing is, the ship was just full of men, so you could see, like, you could literally see me with my IBS, just like. It was like. No.
I think we need to redefine tough, because you're tough to me. I don't want to end this conversation talking about taking a poo, as much as I'd love to, because it's right up my street. But I'm going to ask, when lockdown's over, and it will be over, let's face it, one day we're going to have some kind of normal we can travel. What's your dream destination to go to when lockdown's over?
Somaliland.
Good answer. Yeah, and we're going to wrap on this. Why?
So it's like the bit of Somalia you can go to, and Somalia is really, really understudied, and it's full of like fascinating wildlife, fascinating archaeology, but there's so few people working there because it's like that part of the world, and yet like it's literally right where we expect humanity to have had like quite a lot of activity. So it's gonna be delicious to look at.
Do you know why that was a beautiful answer? Because we're raising money for a Pan-African library, and I'm going to bet that we don't even have that many books about Somalia and Somaliland. So Sylvia, get onto it, man. Sort it out. Do you know what I mean?
And Hargeisa, so that's the capital of Somaliland, have this incredible literary festival. Like, people are...
Yes, they do. They do.
It's got a proper scene.
All right, we're going to wrap this up, but Sylvia, come in and tell us about that literary festival. I can hear you. We can't see her. We can hear you.
So... Thanks. It's the Hargeisa International Literary Festival. It takes place every year, but it hasn't happened for the last year and a half because of COVID. And I have a very, very good friend who is one of the organisers of it, and he's called Mustafa. And yeah, Somaliland, great place, lots of culture, history, and I would love to go as well. So maybe we can go together.
And we'll do a podcast episode from there, mate.
We will, a proper one.
Without
no shade, Athena. No shade. No shade.
Thank you for holding that together. Sides. What they do is they swap sides. Like, I'm in Nando's and one's Sprite and one's Fanta. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Ella, thank you so much for your time. I'm sorry I kidnapped you to do my podcast.
No, thanks so much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for my company, Ella. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
That was Ella Al-Shamahi. Fantastic paleontologist, author, presenter, academic. She does it all. She's fantastic. I'm very honoured to call her a friend and honorary auntie of my kids. If you want to follow her and keep up with what she's doing, all of her handles and links and stuff will be in the description of this podcast. I've been Athena Company. I'm a stand-up writer and podcaster, obviously. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. My handles are just my name, and it'd be great if you want to come and say hello. Thank you for listening, and we will catch up next time.